So yeah, so style guides basically are just the sum of what I would describe it as is your foundation. You know, last class we talked about the principles of design, um, the elements that make up the principles of design. Meaning you have your lines, you have your color, you have your shapes. If you guys can remember, lines, color, shapes. Then we talked about emphasis. We talked about balance. Yeah, I hope we're able to learn a lot from the last class. Yeah, because this class we'll be talking about style guides. And why I would really hope we can all be here because I don't just talk about style guides from the point of you as a designer. So I'm talking about your design system from the point of it even um, working like because no one thing you're a designer, right? Yeah, you're not just designing for yourself. Yeah, most times you're designing for a developer to pick it up from there. You get so you're designing your mobile app. The end result of your mobile app is not to be on your Figma. Is that a developer can pick it up, yeah, and build the mobile app from there. So that means you have to make it easy for them, especially if you are experienced designing. Yeah, if I've experienced designing for a while, especially if you're an experienced designer, yeah, you would have a moments where you use an icon. Yeah, but you realize that when a developer built your app, he used another icon. Yeah, that most times because it's difficult, especially if you're not using dev mode. No Figma has dev mode. So if you're not using dev mode, it might be difficult for them to pick up the icon you used. Yeah, and put it in their platform, wherever ID they're using to build the mobile app or websites. Really, when it's something like mobile app where you have a lot of icons hanging around. Yeah, compared to a landing page. A landing page might use fewer icons. Yeah, compared to just a landing to a web app or mobile app. Yeah, so you need something that can be uniform. You need something that can help your developers make their life easier. The more you make your developers' life easier, is the better the result from your designs comes out. Yeah, so you don't have this listen to me, listen. I don't know if you know that meme. Listen to me, listen to me. That's front end guy talking with the designer most times because you're giving them you're stressing them out and they probably have like five other things they need to do and downloading your icon can be stressful. So how do you give them an icon set? How do you use an icon set? How do you provide the colors that works with them that can be easy for them to just implement colors, okay, buttons. You can use right. You can build your button set for them. So that means you set the hover states, the press states, idle states, disable states. So those are things I'll be showing us today, very briefly, so that when we start designing, or before we even start designing the login screen, all those all those screens, yeah, you have set up your space, that's your design space, such a way that it's easier for you to design, faster for you to design, and also easier for you to hand off. So what are you handing? What do you mean of hand off? Hand off is more or less handing off your designs to your developer. That's what they call it, hand off. Um, so yeah, so just be with me, stay with me as we proceed. So I'm going straight to Figma. Yeah. All right. So welcome everyone. Everyone that's just joining. It's nice to have us around. So, like I spoke about last week, style guides. So, oh, I think I share my entire screen, but right, I'll fix that. So since we need to set, yeah. So one. So this is Figma, by the way. If you are not used to Figma, so we want to have our color colors. We also want to have our buttons. So I'll teach us how to make it fast. Meaning you can do all these things very fast. Yeah, sometimes you can just copy from one or two places, or you can build them yourself, whichever one you prefer. Yeah, I hope I'm not too dark. Right. So colors, buttons. What else do you need? Input fields. Input fields. I think I've forgotten. See, these are three basics. Yeah. I would. I say we can handle these three today. Yeah. So we can handle these three today. So let me start with colors. So let me share my entire screen instead of sharing because I'll be going through tabs basically. I'm showing you a lot of things. So give me a minute. Also, if you have any question in between, you can always ask. Yeah. Right. So you can see my screen, right? Yeah. Cool. So colors. So what comes to your mind when you hear colors? Like, what colors do you think you need for? Let me add. Give me a minute. Let me add the screen so that I would understand what I'm trying to explain. Yeah, I think we used the screen last week. Yeah. So we used this screen last week. So okay, let me make it a general question. What colors do you think are used? What's that the word I use now? Yeah. What colors do you think are used in this design, and in what area? Okay, just make things easier. I'll give like an example. So you have a primary color, which is the orange, which is used for buttons basically. So what other colors do you see? Like I want us to do this together, so I'll not just be explaining without understanding. Seeing if I can find another alternative. Yeah, sure. Speak. I can't see my screen. Just speak, don't worry.
The other colors are basically neutrals for the background. So yeah, neutrals for the
Okay.
background.
All right. So
Different shades
this of gray. Okay. All right. That's valid actually. All right. So someone else is speaking. Someone hands also raised. I can hear it. Am I wrong? Thought I had someone's hands up. Okay. Black complementary. Hold on. Okay. White space. All right. Cool. Black complementary color. Cool also. Yeah. So it's more or less an orange black arrangement. Yeah. You're correct with that. Then you also spoke about neutral colors. So that's basically the background colors. Yeah. I want to bring in another screen under UI now. This UI does not explain what I. Okay, I'm just checking. What I needed to explain did not cover it. Come, just give me a second. I feel like I can find under UI. Oh yeah, you're correct. So also one thing you guys not mentioned is the text. There are colors on the text also. Yeah. So you'll notice that this is header black is slightly different from the text gray. One is lighter than the other. Yeah, same thing here. It's darker than all these guys. Give me a minute to bring it on that screen. Let's put web app. Yeah. So basically, how okay, let me use black for example now. There are different, even though this is gray is like a shade of black. Yeah, but it's more or less in a spectrum. Yeah, or let me use what tints. Yeah, so it is a lighter shade of gray. So I meant shades, not the lighter shades of gray, and there's a darker shade, which is more or less towards tinting towards black. Yeah, I can't find. Let me not waste too much time looking for you right now. I wanted to show an example of because what we do is that this orange here, we usually create a palette for it, meaning this is a lighter version orange of this. You use it you need the light. Just make it easy for it to be accessible to them. I don't know why all the UIs I need just decided to hide. I can't find any of them. Nice. All right. I know waste so much time. Sorry, I'm obsessed with finding something. Let me find it. It's okay. I think I can use this guy. Okay, this guy. It's cool. It's a landing page. The closest thing I can find, which is the green. Yeah, the green is the primary color. Just by looking at it, you would know that's how you can spot your primary colors, especially in advanced like this. So you can see the green is the primary is a shade of this green, but just lighter. Yeah. So how do you yes, I just assume this is green. Let me just use that matches the primary color. Yeah. So you can see the green works with this much time. I think I like this green. So let's just use this green. Yeah. So asked. Yeah. So if you're working with a brand, let's assume MTN wants you to do a UI design for them. Automatically, they most times give you their brand that says that okay, this is our primary color yellow. This is our secondary color black. So in those scenarios, you don't need to stress yourself. Yeah, yeah, you don't need to stress yourself. So I'm just using yellow and black because that's the brand's primary color. If glow comes green and I think green and white, yeah, glow is green and white. Yeah, give me a minute. So glow is green and white. Glow is green and white. What other brands do we have? Let's think of a popular brand again.
That's a
MTN Glow. But my point is, if brand assets, they already have their colors on ground, so you don't need to think of new colors. You just use the color they give you. The probably the highest you could do is find what do you call it now? The secondary colors that might work with it. Yeah, so they give you this is their color code, 5, 6, blah 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 blah. You use the color and probably just find primary colors that can work with that color. Yeah, or if not, maybe yeah, it's like a personal project. Airtel is red and is it red and white or red and black? I can't remember. Yeah, so that's how you pick your colors. So I can see we have 30 more minutes, so I don't waste too much time. Yeah, so let's just jump into it. So there's a tool I use. At the beginning of the call, I mentioned that um, what I'm about to teach, or what I want to teach, is not just how to create your color styles as for you as a designer to just design. You have to create your color styles for developers. Yes, I'm recording the class. What am I saying now? So you want to make life easier for your developers. Yeah. So that's why that's what some artists want to teach you. So let me show you something like Tailwind. Yeah. There's something I personally prefer the zinc. Neutral does not have any tints to attach to it, so it's just black, white, light gray to black direct. Yeah, but most times I use zinc. Um, you can use red for your danger. You know how when you click on logouts, or when you click on when you want to click on the logout button, usually a red color. You can use this red for that. Yeah. Um, Orange. All these guys are like warning signs. So you can just pick whichever color you like from here to use. So just like I said, this idea is to make you life easier for you working with developers and not just you enjoying. Because if you want to design as a developer, there are so many plugins you can use. You can also, like you also mentioned about community, you could also search for them on. It's not complex. I'm really hoping it's not complex. You win CSS. You want to test your color, meaning this is orange. Um, where's Figma? Let me pick. Let me pick out this color. I hope I'm not complicating things. I'm making the idea is to make life easy or to explain things, but I'm hoping I'm not complicating life. Yeah, I'll show you the easy parts, but I want to first explain. I want to show you some tools that cause some of ask how do you combine colors and stuff like that. So you can come here and paste the color from here. Colors. This is another place you can come your you can pay for it and have extra features, but at least with this basic look, you can be like, all right, this works. So you can see the color font. You could come to that's like the longest approach to all these things. Before I now use plugins to help our lives. So I want us to understand how it you understand the easy parts. I'll show you how to pick secondary colors from this. Just give me a minute. So I can delete this guy. Yeah. So this is your primary color. Like I added colors. Click on this color. Sorry, color. Yeah, so let me call it what they call itself. Sea green. Let me just copy what they call it. Call this sea green. I paste it here. Sea green. The color code. Sorry. Color code 50. So it automatically creates that color for me. Although, yeah, all right, I'll show you. Let me call it 500 sorry, 50 instead of 500. So I add another color style. That's 100. I paste it here. I call this guy 100. So if you are confused at any point, just ask so I will know where I need to come in. If you can hear me clearly, can you thumbs up? I'm seeing some people have network issue. All right, thanks, Daniel. Yeah, so I keep doing this. Sorry, so I keep doing this till I get. Sorry, this should be 200. So this 200 is more. This numbers it's more or less levels. Like 50, 100 is the degree of the shade of color you're looking for. So the 500 is the primary color. Yeah. Then you have as different shades of your primary color. So I did from the beginning to let me just skip to the end. 950. So in this case, when I need, okay, let me create the primary color. Let me add the primary color. That's 29. That's 500. Okay. So you can put everything, all the colors I just created now. I can put everything under one folder. I'll call it sea green, or let me just call it primary. Although, because you're working with developers, primary might not make sense. But if you tell them that you're using Tailwind CSS color style, so I could just use the color that was given to me, which is sea green. So in this case, it's easier for them to find sea green via Tailwind. Yeah. So this is one way you can manually create your style, your color guide. Yeah. So if I want to skip all this process, should I hold on? Should I teach that? I don't teach us how to use all these codes directly. Should I? It's a bit complex. No, let me just use. Yeah, Tailwind decided to slide all of us, so now we have to pay for it. So let me just use what are we using? So this was the original color generator. Yeah, so until they told us to pay for it. Yeah, so I'm not paying for it. Because there's an so this is the idea. So once I paste in my color, it generates everything for me. All I have to do is just paste. Yeah, but right now I can't do that because we'll have to pay for it. Yeah, so what we can do instead is well, you could use foundation colors basically. It's another plugin. Yeah, so foundation colors has a lot of combination. So, like I said, Tailwind CSS is just one color style that you can use their system, their design system to design with. Yeah, there's Orbit, there's Atlassian, there's Material Colors style. So Material majorly just Google. There's Ants Design. So let's say I use Material now. I could just paste the color code that I created initially. So you can see it's marked here. So this is the primary. So if I click on create styles, you can see it automatically created the styles for me. So I don't need to think too much about the colors. Yeah. Then if I need for developers sake, because you want to collate your design system to one place, I could just come here and click palettes. Yeah. So now I don't just have a color code, a color style guide created for me automatically. I have I have this here. Such a way that I can give this I can have the color palette that's once my developer comes on board, yeah, he sees this, all he has to do is just pick the colors from here. Having a dev mode in your plan makes life easier. But in case there's no dev mode, you can have this for them also. So any way works, any pattern you choose work. Yeah. So any questions so far? This foundation plugin, foundation color generator. There's another way you can use the tailwind CSS, but I feel to be stressful to explain. It's more or less using code, but I don't think there's need for explaining that. So any questions so far? So let me delete this guy. Yeah, so that's the first one. So I could sorry. So let me go for my primary color now. So if this is my primary color, what I want is a secondary color. How do I get a secondary color? What's the best approach to choose a secondary color? Like I mentioned the last class. So this is your primary color, yeah. Let's pick a secondary color. So I can come to so this Canva color wheel. So depending on how colorful you want your website, mobile app, um, how you want it to be, it depends on tell you which one you go for. So if I come and I click on and I paste my color, my primary, so that's this guy. If I paste my primary color here, it automatically suggests a complementary color for that color. So it tells me that okay, this color is the direct complementary color to what I've pasted. So I could come here, I could change it to sorry, sorry. Uh, yeah, so analogous. It gives me another set of colors. Triadic, tetradic. So I could look at all these colors and say these colors are looking dark. Let me see. And I deleted it. Then you don't delete your designs. Come, let me bring back the color. The sample we're working with. Let me see if I can. These people just used. They basically just used green, okay, yellow. Yeah, use basically green and yellow. Yeah. So I could come here and say, all right, I like maybe this pattern, but it just feel maybe just to me personally, it feels a little dark. I'm like, all right, I can't use that color. So I could just adjust the wheel a little. No, sorry, give me a minute. Hold on. Oh, please focus. Yeah. So I could adjust the wheel a little till I get a lighter shade of what I'm looking for. All right, so this yellow can work. So instead of using, I'm trying to just go. How do I paste it? Yeah. In case you don't have any of this, so I could just be like, all right. So I could just adjust the shade of. Or since I have my colors, let me do this instead. Since I have my color style already, my primary is this is my primary. Yeah, I could change it to this. I don't like this color, but let me use it anyways. I'll paste it here. Yeah, I don't like that color. I see this. It's not going to work. Let me just take it back. So the idea is that you can pick primary colors from me, your secondary colors from here easily. Some that complements the colors that you're working with. Yeah, this one way of doing it. Some you can use your mind. Or like someone said, you can also use ChatGPT. I've not done it before. Oh, you've seen my personal. So you could just paste your colors. Pick the colors that you prefer out of them. You just come up with this yellow. Then use the same method. Foundation colors. I use material. So let's be consistent with material. I paste the new color, yellow, and I create this style. So once I do that, I have yellow. Yeah. So it just gives you freedom to explore your colors, basically. So I have my primary color, I have my secondary color. And you can just keep doing if you want. Probably now I say it depends on how colorful you want your design to be. If you could come here, pick from here, let me do something. You could come here, pick as many as you want, and just keep adding them to your style. Hope I'm not confusing us. Most of the times, these stores are quick jobs. And you can also adjust the luminance, yeah, and some other things, saturation. So there are a lot of things you can do, but it just tells you that okay, green, a color that goes with green is yellow. A color that goes with I don't know what color this is this is not purple, right? Wine. The color that goes with this is this color, and then also this blue can also go with it. It could be any color, so I could come here, I could change it to red. Sorry, could change it to yellow. Whatever color you choose, you will always get a result that matches it. So this is where this goes. Yeah, there's so many ways you can do with that. Yeah. So time is flying. Yeah. So that's that. So that you can create your colors as many as you want. So one thing that's also important, your gray color. Let's go back to foundations, material. Material also has ah, there are a lot of ways you can come up with this stuff. Yeah. Or colors that help your developer. Material has their own design system. You go to material designs and pick their own color design system and work with it. Yeah, I use Tailwind because I personally like Tailwind. So gray. What am I doing? Yeah. So like I mentioned before, I like this zinc. I don't want to explain it. Like let me also show you how to do it with I hope those guys give me a minute. Yeah, how to do this is what we call Figma community also. So I could come here and search for tailwind. Same thing with material. Same thing with even iOS, whatever it is, we call message for Tailwind. This is just personal preference. MTN network is coming up. Alright, so which one are we going with? What's the latest? Which one have I used? Can we give me minutes? Yes. So let me go with chat. Yeah, I use chat. Let me go with chat here. Yeah, I can open this. I'm a little detailed. I'm just trying to explain as many possibilities as possible. So this is how you can also use Figma community also. I don't know. I think it was mentioned in the last class too. So you can basically search for whatever you want under Figma community. Hopefully, someone has done what you're looking for. Yeah, so there are always different options. So there's by minor. Um, this version 3.3. There's just a lot. There are lots you can write. So be fast. Okay. One we have dealt with, which is color. Which you can also manually add. Default color code for white is. Let's get active variables today. You can call it white. The reason why buttons fast. So we have our colors now. Okay, so this is like a walkthrough. How should I do text? I might do text next class. Or if I have the strength, I can come in. Yeah. See if I can do text this class or not. They don't have. Oh, it's design yeah, that system itself. Okay. Yeah. All that is what. Let me do what download. You can download any of the systems, so you can. So most of these things you don't need to redesign them sometimes. So I could come here. Do frequently asked questions (FAQs) on same thing a lot. So you can also come here and download like your designs. Yeah. So even the button I'm about to see, I'll also come here and pick if you like, but let's just go the manual way. Yeah. So let's go text. So I'm teaching us I'll first teach the manual way of doing it. Also, like I did for colors. Let me just add just for posterity. Let me just add. So let's use for gray. Could just put it somewhere here. Yeah. And I have my gray. If I want red for danger, could put it somewhere here. Always try to avoid the extreme edges of. But if you're dealing with colors, try best to avoid the extreme edges. So always stay somewhere in the middle, somewhere around this middle. Yeah, so I can create this for red. Yeah, let me just do this too. Then again, what they just yeah. So I can go for text. So to go to start for text, what kind of text do I want? I want the header. hmm I want the body text. Okay, let's go with this guy. So what you notice is you have a header, you have a body text. What else do you have? Yeah, majorly. Yeah, and what I call this title text. Yeah. So I could come up. I could start by saying, let's create a style. There are plugins for all these things. I'm just teaching us the long process. I've never used the wind. Let's go, do it. So I could come here, create a new style and call it header. Um, Fonts. Let me leave it as enter. I could say, okay, I want my header to be 40. I want it to be bold. You get, yeah. I could leave this if I want. I could reduce it to maybe. Let me leave it. Okay, I want the spacing to be 120. I prefer my spacing 120%. So I could create style. So that'll be my header. That'll be my header one. Let me call it header one. And create another style. Or let me call it H1. Yeah. I could create another one. Sorry. I could create another header. Call it H2. Or the other one. Let me call it H2. Um, let's make it. If initial was 40. I could make the next one 24. But did I make this bold? I can't remember. I could make it bold. Still making 120%. Sorry, 120% and crystal. Can't remember if I made this bold. Yeah, I made it bold. Could create another one. Call it 20. I'll call it H3. Make it 20 and 120%. Nobody has asked any questions, so I'm assuming everyone understands. Right, so next is textile. I could call it body text. So B1. This upcoming. Then make this regular. Probably make this 16. Yeah, I hope you guys are with me. So I come up with all this. The other ways I call off time. I'm trying my best not to be too detailed. Yeah. I could come up with another one. I call it body two. Um inter regular. Maybe I think for body you could make it 140% instead of 120. Could make this 14 and create this style. Let me it's 140. All this are usually okay, 140%. Let's go. Yeah. So you can see them here already. So in case I write a text and I make it no, it was a mistake actually. I corrected it to 140%. Yeah. So if I write a text that says UI class, okay, let me put it inside a frame. So now you can see the text is white, so you can't see it right. So I could come here, change my color directly from here, and say, okay, out of all the colors I saved, I want to use this black. So now I can automatically see that this text has taken this color. And to come to my typography library, that's like apply styles. And out of all the text, I could decide to use H1. So it takes the size. So you can see that it is using H1 typography and the fill of gray 900. So it's going to be consistent throughout the app, it's throughout the whole design. So if I come here and say, all right, I don't like the spacing between, let's assume I like it, but let's assume I don't like the spacing between. Yeah. So instead of breaking and adjusting manually, all I could just do is come to H1 style that I created and adjust the spacing to, let's say, 100%. And you realize that it's shortened. So to make it more visible, let me do something interesting. To make it more visible, I can always change this color too. I can make it green. One of all the colors I've saved. Let's make it just this. Let's use Loremium. Sorry. Here's one paragraph. Oh, so much. I just sentence to yeah. So it's more visible what I'm about to do. So I could come here, change this to H20. Sorry, H3. Are we fighting? Hold on. Yeah, it has changed. He should be bold. He should be bold. Okay, so it to be more visible. So I'm separating the texts. Yeah, so there are two different, so it's more obvious. There are two different texts, two different items. But if I adjust anything in, this is what, H3, yeah. If I adjust anything in H3, yeah, so instead of having to adjust everybody one by one, I could come here, I could change this to 200%, and everybody gets 200%. I could change it back to 100%. But I adjust the size here and say, okay, I want this to be 18. You can see both of them are adjusting as I'm changing the values. Let's take it back to 20. So in this case, instead of having to make changes to, imagine you have done 100 pages of a design, like you have built a mobile app and it had 50 pages. Instead of having to now start adjusting the colors individually, all you have to do is to adjust just your design system, your text styles here. Yeah. So I could also I could do the same thing for colors. To come to my foundation, come to my green 500 and say, okay, I don't want this green 500 again. And I change it to red. You can see it adjusted it. So it changes everything without even selecting any of these guys. Yeah. So that's how it works. That's how your style guide helps you stay consistent in your design. Yeah. So so because of time, we have like 20 more minutes. So let me go to buttons. Buttons are the easiest. Yeah, buttons are the easiest to implement. You get. So if you are making buttons, it's very easy. You come to your text. I could call it. Let me call the label button. Yeah, I don't want H3 for it. I could come make it. Let me create a style. Let's call it. Let me make it bold, and let me make it 16. We call it. Let me call it button, just for the sake of this class. So I create my style. I click button. Yeah. Let me call it button. Let me select the one I created for it specifically. So that's button. Let's look at like this spacing. Yeah. So to create buttons, yeah, the easiest way to create your button is with auto layouts. Get. So what's auto layout? Automatic layout. Yeah. All you have to do is to add this auto layout. So that's what the shortcut is Shift A. Where's the button? Did they take it out? Yeah. So if you click Shift A on your button, it's they added it on the. So yeah, I'm used to the shortcuts. So just right click on your button. The shortcut is Shift A. Yeah, that's what I'm used to. So I thought there's always a button here. I've not paid attention to it. So if you right click on the button text keywords and add auto layouts to it, it automatically creates this around you. So I could just change the color to my primary color, which is green. If I want, I could round the corners. Um, Let me make it like 148. I think there's still something small. Yeah, 48 works. So I could change the padding up. So this is horizontal. Sorry. So what I did was I changed the corner radius to make it more round. So corner radius from zero. Zero makes it a rectangle. Adding the corner radius makes it round. Yeah. I could add padding to the side if I want. I could make this guy 24. I could make this guy 8. Yeah. So I have my first step in making my button. So this is automatically a button. Yeah. Um, let's duplicate it. So I could duplicate it, Control D or Alt button. I could make hover state. So hover state is when your button, when your mouse, you know how you put your mouse on, okay, exactly. So you can see this sidebar. As I hovered on them, the tab changes color, changes. Yeah. So basically creating hover states. That's what I'm about to do. So I might say I want my hover state to be 600 when I change it. When I hover on it, first state is when I click on it. What do I want to happen when I click on my button? I could change that to 700. And I also create a state where disable states, meaning a state where nothing happens or what word now. If you ever fill the form, for example, login or sign up, if you don't complete filling the form, yeah, sometimes you can't click on the button to sign up because information are missing. Yeah, so that's disable states what I'm talking about. So you could use a very light color, make it 200 or 300, whichever one you prefer. Let's use something light. This 200 feels dark. Yeah, so it's something that you can still see the button, but you know that it's disabled. Okay, which one looks cool? I think this looks cool. Yeah. So I could select all the buttons I've created. Yeah, and create a component from it. So I click on this drop down, and as you see, create component sets. So now all of them are into one component. So I could call this primary button. So let me just quickly show how to prototype it also. Yeah. So I could just come to button, yeah, come to prototype, click on it, drag it down here. I'm sure most of us have prototyped before. I'm hoping. Yeah. So you drag it down. So instead of leaving the triggers on click, all I have to do is to change it to while hovering. To while hovering. Same thing for this. I click on this. I change the trigger to while pressing. Could also do this. Could change the name to, let me call this default. I call this hover. I could change the property to hover. And I can change this to pressed. So let's see what we have done. I put it in a frame. Um, let's preview it for you. What's this one? So, I hope you're still with me. I'll be closing very soon. I don't believe this will going to take this much time. Um, yeah, but, yeah. So you can see it's changing color. I don't know if you can see it. I wish I could zoom into it. So you can see it. Let me see if I can increase. Let me do something. 2018. Okay, so much. So you can see it's changing color for each data you've done, creating your app. Yeah, it's not just you know how to make it easy for them to develop, but I just that to show us what we're doing. Secondary buttons. Let's just do it. So I could do for second. You know how those buttons have outlines. Let me see if we did create one here. Something like this. Yeah, could create a button like that. Something like this. You can see what I'm talking about. So it has an outline and text in it. So let's just create something very fast like that. So once I've created one, you don't need to do so much. So I could just come. This we call it multi-edit variant. Hope you can see the button. This guy. So if I click on it, it selects everybody. So what I can do is add an outline. Yeah, and yeah. So I did an outline to all of them. Well, because of the nature of what we're about to do, I don't think I need to do all of them. So I just change this. Let me move the fill. Yeah, I change the color of the stroke to the primary color 500. The text also to 500. Same thing for this. I change the stroke to 600. I take out the fill. I change the button to 600. Same thing for this 700. Take out the fill. Change this to 700. Please, if you have any question, you can ask. 200. Do the same thing for this guy, 200. Take out the fill. Make this guy 200. So the same thing if you play this, or I could do something interesting too. Probably if it's hovered on, we change the fill to this 500. This could also be 200. So it's interesting. So I clicked on it. Um, yeah, so you can see it's changing color once you interact with it. It's sweet, right? Yeah. So that's that. So that's that for the button. So you can just keep creating as many as you want. Probably for this, you could come here and see for the red, just for logout buttons and the likes. Um, hold on. You could call this. Let's start from 500. I could make it red 500. I could change the 600 to red 600. I don't I hope it's not confused. I could change the green 700 to red 700. and I could change this to 800. I could do. You could just keep since once you have all this, it's easy for you to just combine everything. We have less than 10 minutes. So that's how you create your buttons also. I thought I created color palettes. Where did I place that? Can't remember. Let me just create one more. Foundation. I think I should not have started with the with CSS, so it's too confusing. I'm guessing. Did you guys understand everything I said about dealing with CSS? God, now I'm on the second thought, it feels like it was confusing. Okay. I'll probably spend another time. Yeah. So you have this. You could also create for your break it so I can pick the color. Paste. Then let me create palette again. So I'm doing this for you to the idea of what I'm doing is you building a system for your developers basically. Coming out. You have this, you also have for your red. Just put it from here. You can always break any of these guys. I create a palette again. So you do all this and your developer will be happy with you. Because most times they don't develop like designers. So most times they need things that make their life easier. Then I think the last one is the gray. Yeah. Let me just use this guy. Okay. So it's just for them to know what colors you used in the system. So they don't stress themselves out. Was it? Oh my god. I, don't worry, you guys understand. It's supposed to be on material, not on Atlassian. Don't worry. So you create that also. So you have your palette for your developers to use. So your developer, what you just did is your developer comes on your screen. Let me call this page design system. There are a lot of it. This is just the basics. Yeah. Your developer comes, he sees your button at the state, he's happy. Yeah. He sees your color palette also and he's happy. Get. So last to be, let's just quickly, do we have the time for it? I'm going to create an input field, but I think I might need to rush it very fast. So you have created your color, you have created your text, yeah, created your color, you have created your text, created your buttons. So very fast, let's just create your input fields. So what's the input fields? It's basically areas where you type in. Yeah, so how do you type in? So I come here, let me call it inputs. Yet, yeah. So let's call it inputs. I know I'll probably need to explain this thing more. 'Cause I know I'm rushing a little. So let's change the text to 16 body text. Yeah. So the same thing, apply your auto layouts. Let's just click add auto layouts. Yeah. Let's use just like our button states. Let's make this 8. Let's make this 24. Let's make this 12. This input. Yeah. Let's see. Let me call it input text. I'll need to rush this. Yeah. If you can always watch to see what I'm doing, or you can be in my DM and them. The task is that okay. The task for the week is simple. Everyone will create a design system. Yeah. So you have your input text, icon sets. Yeah, let's continue. So, you have your input text. Let's assume, let's add an outline. Let's call it, let's give it this grade 100. No, outline. We meant outline rather. Grade 100. Let me take out this guy. Could add a corner radius. Let's make it, should we make it round? Let's make it round. Oh, yeah, let's make it 12 or 8. Yeah. Um, we'll add the, let me call this guy, what will I call this now? Title. Let's call this guy title. I could make this 14 if I wanted. Yeah. Let's call this guy placeholder. So placeholders are basically um, all those EG you see on forms like let's say title is phone number. Now give you +2340008. So just examples. Yeah. So I add an auto layout here also. Add auto layouts. Okay. Yeah. I could make this guy 0. Yeah. Let's increase it to the fullest. Could make this guy left aligned. There are a lot of things I can do here. But for simplicity's sake, I'll not do so much. Hopefully when you guys do it yourself, you guys will have questions. So let's put it on a frame so it's easier to see what we're doing. Okay. So we want this guy to be gray. So you can see how consistent the colors are. Let's make this guy black. There are a lot of things I can do to this, but I don't want to go into that now. But that might take another time explaining components and stuff. All right. So I do this. I make it a component. Yeah. And then I could add under states. Um, so by adding under states, what can I? Let's make this guy when you are typing. So let's just add the line, and this for the last one could now be um, inputted text. That's what was typed in. So let's make this guy black. Okay. Yeah. Um, let's prototype them. So I bring this one on click. This is the most basic button ever. Because I don't want to take so much time again. I don't like us closing late. Yeah. So let's create this. Let's see what we have done. Okay, we could have this. Let's make this so it'll be obvious what we have done. Let's change this to green. Oh, actually, yeah. So if I click on this, you can see it changes. Okay, let me loop it. Let's have a loop. Yeah, let's come back here. So you can see it changes. So basically, what you have just done is to give your developer a sense of what happens when things are imputed. There are a lot of things. Probably when your guys are doing yours, you have to add them. So things like error states. What happens when there's an error icon? You know how besides your password, yeah. So you know how beside hold on. Um, Right. So you know how beside your password field, you have an icon like an eye icon that blinks. That if want to see your password, you click on it goes visible, opens. Yeah. So how to make those icons? How to add them? So probably when you're creating your own, you can try implementing it. And if you have any question, you can always ask me. So yeah. So any questions so far based on what I've done? Any questions so far? I know we have questions, yeah, but I'm hoping there are things that when you now when you build your own design system, um, you figure them out. You can see how sweet it is. So, any question? Thanks for everyone that has Godwin and Nolawitz and Mr. Dotson. Thanks for joining in now. Thanks for everyone that have stayed this late. I don't take your time for granted. Yeah. So, any questions so far that you wish you understand everything, Nolawitz and Godwin? I'm guessing that's a yes or you're shy, one of them. I'm not sure. Yeah, so the task is simple. Build your own mini design system for whatever projects you have in mind. Like so that's your text field, your input field, your so that's your input field, your text, your color. You can use any imaginary projects. There's no restriction. Yeah, your colors. So I'm not going into detail. This I can call this guy your primary, your secondary. Let me do it in this. This is your primary. This is your secondary. I can call this danger. See that there are easy ways to do it very fast. Yeah, but I want us to know how to do it before we, like I just showed you, plug in, and that was very fast. Yeah, but I want us to understand how it works even before you go the easy route. Yeah, so the task for the week is simple. Let's create our own design system from scratch. So how your button states work, how you prototype them. I mean, if I click on it, it must change. So your button and you make them components also. Your buttons are components, your text are components. Uh, Pick a color, have a secondary color to it, and create color palettes from it. What's there? Yeah. So any question before we close? Right, everyone is shy. Right, so we'll meet next week or in our DMs. So thank you guys for joining this evening. It really means a lot. Yeah. So see you next week, this time, same time next week. See same